Yo, 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 yo.
Yo, what up, killer?
Hey, nothing much, man. We are back. Boy, I got a wide angle in here. What's going on? You see the
Hey,
hole?
your angle is wide, brother.
Hey, but we are back for another week. This is episode dos of our coaching series, man. Last week we had Isaac on. Such a great episode. I think we got to follow up with another banger this week. So, how did you
Yup.
feel about last week?
Man, last week was awesome. Like you said, it was great insight. Isaac dropped a bunch of knowledge on us, and it was overall great conversation. So, like you said, hopefully, this week our guests will bring the same type of energy. If not, we gonna have to kick them off early.
All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and introduce because, like we said, we've been getting the positive feedback each and every week about how you guys like a more streamlined episode. So that's what we're gonna give y'all today. So we have a OCB Pro Wellness competitor, a coach, of course, because how else would they make the coaching series? They are transitioning to become an NPC bikini competitor, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the name together. You ready for this?
Go ahead, let's
Jamie.
see.
All I do is win. Let's bring it to the stage. Hey!
Hello. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for waiting the extra 15 minutes while my co-host,
You're just gonna put
You
them
know,
on blast.
the thing about these episodes are that no one had to know that. Like,
Well, see, it's better if we go ahead and get in front of it, just in case you go back and tell people like I was on this podcast and it was 15 minutes late.
that is true. That is very true. All right, so that's fair. So, did we leave anything out from your introduction? Just let us know. Did we forget anything? Is there anything more you can tell us about yourself?
I honestly love the introduction because that's actually my song that I listen to when I'm on the Stairmaster.
See, that's just that. That's that host and it's the host and what the participants connection right there. I just had that, so we did that.
No,
But
you
we're gonna
did.
hop straight
It was
into
a
it.
great introduction.
Gotcha. Okay, so perfect. So we're gonna hop straight into questions. So I think my very first question is, you're a competitor, and like I said about Isaac last week, was I call all of us a hybrid coach. So it's basically a person who competes and also coaches. So the one question I have for you is, how do you determine when a person is ready to get on the stage?
It depends on their journey because obviously when you see some competitors when they step on stage, they're probably not going to be lean enough. But as well, when you step on stage, it's truly about the journey. Like I had one girl, she stepped on the NPC stage. Obviously, she wasn't lean enough, but she also lost 50 pounds and she really wanted to step on stage. And before having her step on stage, I told her, hey, just keep in mind I don't want you to worry about the placing. I want you to take this as like an experiment for you, and um that's already a huge win right there. Like the win is all about the journey. You've lost 50 pounds. You want to get it. You want to step on stage for the experience. Let's do it and just have fun with it. And that's exactly what she did. And she's like, okay, now I know exactly how lean I had to get to step on stage again. But usually with my other competitors where they're like, oh, I want to step on stage to win. I was like, girl, you better get stage lean then.
I think my first question would be because I know you had a male coach in the past, and I don't know if you currently have a male coach, but what's something different you do with your female clients than your coaches did with you for getting ready for a competition and all that?
Actually, my whole life I had male coaches, and this is actually, I felt like I didn't work well with female coaches at the time. Every time I had a female coach, I just didn't follow her plan. But maybe because I'm more of like that dominance type where I'm like, no, it's going to be my way kind of thing, where that's why I needed a male coach at the time. And it's our hormones. Like we even talked about it. Our hormones are everywhere during our cycle. So it's having that understanding, having that patience with them and letting them know it's okay to gain 5 to 10 pounds during your cycle. Like that's the normal stuff. So I do have a female coach now. Like I feel like I'm in a better place to actually listen to her and follow her plan. But I feel like having a male coach, it was a lot harder for a male to understand. Oh, she's going through her cycle right now. She's gonna be more emotional. She might fall off plan if I don't say the right things to her, kind of thing. But I felt like I during my cycle, I never went off plan because my male coaches always told me, your feelings aren't valid right now. It's just your emotion. So you're good. And I'm like, okay, emotions checked out. I just gotta lock in.
Okay.
So I guess to kind of add to that and ask a follow up to that is, I don't know if you do only coach females, and if you do, then I would like to know. But then, do you think that gives you an advantage when you're coaching a female client, woman to woman, as to if it's a man coaching a woman?
It just depends because I even have some female clients where that are lifestyle, not competitors. And I'll even tell them, I was like, hey, you're not gonna listen to me. You might need a male coach because there are some females out there who likes to be in that dominant situation. Like they're the alpha female. So if they have a female coach, they're most likely not gonna follow your plan. And I catch that on right away. I'm like, you might need a male coach because I used to be that girl.
I like that. So we're probably gonna throw a bunch of female questions at you because we
That's
rarely
okay.
have, females on that, have the knowledge of coaching and stuff. So just be prepared for that, all right? So my next question will be, what is one thing you wish female competitors understood before they started prep?
Ooh, is having that foundation down. I feel like a lot of, I'm not sure of male competitors do this, but a lot of female competitors, they're like, oh, maybe I have to do a bodybuilding show to lose weight. And then they don't have the foundation down. They try to do prep and they're like, wait, this is a lot harder. And then they end up having like all these binge eating moments. And I'm like, you got to build that foundation down first, like getting your steps, your water intake, your sleep. Recovery is the most important thing in this journey. And so many people skip that because they're like, oh, I'm working out in the gym. I want to go literally every day. So it's just the competitor like understanding, like have that foundation down first. And I'm sure for males too, they have to have that foundation down. But way too many females try to do a bodybuilding show just as like a quick weight loss journey. And I'm like, that's where you're going to screw yourself over in the end because the reverse phase, that's the hardest part for everybody.
No, I definitely like that because I think I said something the other day. I was having a conversation with someone, and I was like, when someone starts a weight loss journey, bodybuilding can be a byproduct of that, but bodybuilding shouldn't be the main reason for your weight loss journey.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I have a competitor. She's like, I want to do another show in December. And then I was like, girl, you did not have a good reverse. You're not having a good off season right now. Like, you shouldn't have a show to be disciplined. Like, your discipline shouldn't be conditional.
Okay. Okay. So, you're pro wellness, and you already said, "Hey, I'm going to go do bikini." And I think we had a full episode about finding a category, sticking to a category. So, what is some advice you would give to a lady client or even lady competitors out there that want to compete but don't necessarily know their direction between bikini or wellness?
Honestly, I went from bikini to wellness and I'm going back to bikini. So, what I would usually tell somebody who wants to start out is build a physique that you want to build because the judges is always going to tell you, hey, you need to be smaller or you need to be bigger in size in certain areas. And some people might not be really happy with that and they might feel discouraged from that as well, too. So, I always say build a physique that you would like to have 40 years from now when you're not going to be competing anymore because this is a hobby. It shouldn't be your whole lifestyle where you're going to prolong it into like 20, 30 years later. Because what if you follow a judge's like comment saying, hey, you need to be bigger in your quads. You get your quads super massive. And then 20 years later, you're like, wait, I don't like how my quads are actually looking. I wish they look a little bit like more, I guess you could say smaller, normal size bikini. So I feel like just build the physique that you want. The pro card will come with the pro physique.
So Eric called you a hybrid where you're an athlete and a coach, right?
Yeah.
So how has your personal experience being an athlete? Um, all right, let me rephrase this. Do you go off your personal experience or do you go off science based when you're prepping your athletes?
I go off science based. I actually used to work in stem cells, so I'm big on science.
Okay.
Yeah, before I quit and became a personal trainer, I was actually a pharmacy tech for 4 years, and then I worked in stem cell for 6 years after that.
All right. So let's just say hypothetically, you have a female client, and she's just having a bad week, and she's like, Coach, I can't do this. Like, I'm just. What would be your response to that?
I actually get a lot of those weekly, and usually I just check in with them because, as for a female, like I said, we live off of emotions, and especially depending on what phase you are in your cycle, I'll be like, okay, when was your last period? What phase are you entering in right now? And then when we are able to check off those boxes, then I'm like, are you sure your period's not coming because you know you're a bad bitch? Like, come on, get it together, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, usually it's always based around our cycle of how we're feeling because there's going to be weeks where we feel amazing, we feel unstoppable, and then the next week we're gonna be like, what's going on? I feel fat, I feel like I'm not ready, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So it literally happens to every single female.
All right, Jamal, don't take her along. You can't use that with your female clients. Don't be going around telling your clients that.
I will not. I promise.
Gotcha. So you said something earlier that I guess I want to kind of reverse back to. And you said that one of your clients were ready to or wanted to compete. You knew she wasn't ready, but you competed for the experience, got the experience, and then that actually taught her more so of what it's like to be stage ready. So
Yeah.
do you coach anybody any differently when they want to compete versus when they want to win? Do you coach differently or do you just coach them the same?
I coach differently where when it's somebody that wants to win. Like I had this girl, she's like, I really want my pro card. And I was like, girl, you gotta work for it then. So literally if she made a mistake, she'll call me right away. She's like, oh my God, I just had a donut. I'm like, it's okay, don't freak out. Like upload your photos when you get home because she was at the park when it had happened. And I was like, and then we'll take it from there. And she looked fantastic. Like my girl that got her pro card, she was able to have a cheat meal literally 4 weeks out before her show.
A cheat meal or a refeed?
I call it a cheat meal because it wasn't like a refeed meal. It was a cheat
Oh,
meal. Like
it
she
was an
had
actual
dessert.
cheat meal. She went in, huh?
Yeah, she went in, and I told her I was like, just be smart about it. She went in, and I was like, you still look good. I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
And she got her pro card, so yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
hmm
Um, so tell us the moment where you realized coaching, what was your calling? You was like, okay, I'm gonna go all in and just start coaching.
So I was actually doing lifestyle at the time when I was competing, and then one of my friends was like, "You need something more quick pace. You need to coach athletes, people who want to step on stage." And then I was like, "I don't know if I can do that because you really do push your limits. Like sometimes fats are dropping so low that you're just like." I don't know if this is going to be sustainable, but what I learned is that it can be if you do it properly for those type of people, and depending on their timeline as well too. So my first prep client, she came to me. She was like, "Hey, I want to pose, but I don't have a prep coach. I don't know where to start. I really want to do a show." We aim for the OCB show in Tucson of April that year. She had a 12-week prep. I told her, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna follow the books. And I was like, but if you give me a chance, then we'll rock with it together. She ended up getting first place in her novice class and second place in the open overall for bikini. And that's when I was like, maybe I do like this more better than lifestyle coaching because for lifestyle, everybody's at a different phase in their life. Like there could be beginners, there could be people who's like, I just need a program kind of thing. So when my friend said that to me, I was like, I'll give it a try. I just don't know how much I like it because you literally have to be there as their coach 24/7. Like they're texting you, hey, this is going on, what do I do? Hey, can I have this type of food? And you have to be on top of that of responding to your clients as well too, like not just only lifestyle but especially the prep clients. Like they need you 24/7.
Okay, so I asked the question last episode, so I'm gonna try to switch it up. I don't like repeating questions. So what I think I asked Isaac what makes someone coachable, but I guess for you, what would make a great client? What would make a good client, and then what would make a great client? So I know you got a few clients and you probably got the names in your head that you want to say, but what makes them good and what makes them great?
So good is following the plan, doing their check-ins whenever they feel like it. Great is doing your check-ins even if you haven't been perfect on your plan, because that gives me so much data that I can adjust their macros accordingly and be like, hey, let's plan for a refeed this time so that you're not going off plan just because you're hungry. Or depending on their cycle as well too, I can adjust their macros and be like, okay, your cycle is coming up. Let's give you a little bit more fats. We'll lower the carbs a little bit. That way it's more satiated throughout the day for you. So a great client literally communicates with you through the good and the bad. A good client does what they want, check in when they want, but they still have some type of communication.
Okay.
All right. This question ain't particularly about coaching, but since we have a female on the show, I'm gonna ask it. Do you think social media has changed the expectation placed on female competitors?
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
And why is that?
There is so much information on social media, even the stuff that I post as well too. And what I usually tell people is that we post maybe like 5% of what we want you guys to see. Like we're posting that 5% to pull you guys in. There is so much more information and more in depth of science to that information that's being presented that's not shown to you guys, because they're trying to pull you in. And if you're not pulled in and you're just listening to everything that you're hearing on social media, you're going to be up and down everywhere. And I feel like that's what social media does to you. And I'll even tell my clients, I was like, I do the same thing. I only give you guys like 5% of information and that's it. You're on mute, Eric.
You
I
on
cannot
mute
hear
there,
you.
buddy.
I see his mouth moving, but I was like, what are you saying?
I was seeing if you guys are going to read my lips and guess the question, but apparently we didn't introduce that segment to the podcast yet. So we all train female clients. And I think the one thing that I realized, and no knock to my guy clients, I realized that in certain cases, the female may train harder than some men. So whenever you see your clients, how do you attack their intensity in the gym when it comes to certain categories or, how do you just attack their intensity inside the gym?
So with bodybuilding, it's about stimulating the muscle, not annihilating it. And that's an old saying from Lee Hanley, I believe that's his name. He's a very old school bodybuilder. So a lot of girls will try to lift heavy weights. And I'm like, girls, sometimes you might not have the food to lift that heavy. So you want to be able to stimulate your muscle as much, not annihilate it at this point, especially if you are in prep. And I do notice that my boyfriend, he's a competitor as well too. And I always have to tell him, I was like, you know, you need more rest than a woman does, right? Because you guys have produced testosterone and we produce estrogen. So we recover a lot quicker than you guys do. So that's why girls go a lot harder in the gym. Do they need to? Just depending on their goal.
My bad. My neighbor's dog is out and it's like literally terrorizing everybody that walks past. That's why I keep looking out. All right. So what are some red flags that you see when it comes to competing for first-time competitors?
Red flags: cutting calories too quick, doing a shit ton of cardio on very, very low calories. A big red flag for me is that if you are a young competitor, especially in your early 20s, and you lose your period 16, 12 weeks out, that's a huge red flag for me, just because they're so young. You're potentially damaging their hormones long term.
No, she don't need to come walk over here. I ain't got nothing to do with that dog. I'm sorry. I'm like,
Coming for you.
And I thought I was the unprofessional one, but let's keep it moving. So, we know we live in a space of social media. We live in a space of I think we all have teams where we coach multiple people, and sometimes the levels of physiques are all there. So how do you handle a client who is basically being damaged by comparison and comparing themselves to an elite physique or even to your
Ooh.
physique?
That actually happens a lot. And I know I did that my first show where I'm like, oh my God, this person looks amazing. I'm going to have to step on stage with them. But truly, it comes down to your own journey. Just like in lifestyle fitness, people compare themselves all the time. And then you see these IFBB pros, you're also comparing yourself to those girls as well, too, but not knowing that they've been in the game for like 10, 20 years. There are some people in as OCB pros, and they've been in the game for at least 6, 10 years as well, too. So everybody's journey is so different. Like, just focus on your own journey, and that's truly the win right there. Because when you start focusing outside of your journey, then you're gonna not only gonna damage your own journey, but it's also, what's that saying, comparison is the thief of joy. So it's just really about your own journey.
You hear that, Jamal? We're focusing on the.
I'm
Our
not gonna lie,
journey.
and I do apologize because that was really rude of me, but y'all, you're laughing like it's not funny, dude.
Hey, it's your karma for tell me to give Eric shit for being late. So karma.
Oh man. Okay. So what happened? Sorry about that. I totally missed that. What happened? Give me a recap real
um,
quick.
let's see. We were talking about comparison for athletes who compare themselves, and usually it's basically comparison is the thief of joy. Focus on your own journey, just because we all start at a different point. Like, I've been training my whole life. I was a cheerleader growing up, so I also have that athlete background in me as well too. Imagine with somebody who's just starting out in the gym and they're comparing themselves to me. I'm like, girl, I've been doing this for years. Like, you just started. Just let's focus on your journey right now. What truly matters is that you're starting. That's what matters.
Okay. I want to go back to something you said towards the beginning. You said you shied away from female coaches because you were kind of dominant and you didn't think, you didn't want to really listen to them, right? So why should a female client listen to you? Like, what what separates you from another, male client?
I
I
understand
mean,
your
male coach,
hormones.
sorry.
I understand your hormones so much better than a male client could. And that's the reason why I chose a female client, because I had actually lost my period being 12 weeks out. And I had told my coach at the time, I was like, hey, I lost my period. We're still 12 weeks out. This is not okay. And he was like, oh, it's normal. It's part of the process. And I told him, I was like, I understand it's part of the process if you're like maybe 4 weeks out, or if you're doing shows back to back kind of thing, then I understand it's natural for you to lose your period. But the coach that I have now, I had a friend who was being coached by her, and she said that she's never lost her period, and she has done shows after. I think she was doing shows for like 2 years straight. And I was like, and you never lost your period as a natural competitor? So I was actually amazed by the comment that she had said. So it made me do my own research more. So, like I said, you can adjust your macros. Like, say if a female competitor said, I'm going to start my period on show day, I don't know if I'm going to be comfortable with that, you can adjust those macros so that she doesn't start her period on show day and she actually gets it back after her free meals, her refeed, and all that stuff. It doesn't have to happen on show day. And I actually did that for one of my last competitors that stepped on stage, and literally right after show she's like, I got my period. And I was like, I know. And I was like, you're supposed to get your period right after that. And so it's just knowing how to mimic those macros. So when I had told my coach at that time, and I was like, I lost my period, I don't feel okay. I'm not okay with how low my calories and macros are at, with how much cardio I'm doing. And he was just like, just follow the plan. It's normal. And that's when I knew we were on a different page, and that all he wanted me to do was compete, compete, compete. And I was like, my hormones, my health comes first before competing.
You just dropped some knowledge on me. I did not know you can like manipulate food and it would like, push a female cycle back. I
Yeah.
never knew that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So like I said, you should, like, is it possible for you to lose your period? Yes, but you can manipulate those macros so that they lose it 2 weeks out, or maybe their peak week, when they're supposed to step on stage. Because a lot of girls, I mean, it's happened to me where I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna step on stage, I'm about to start my period, I'm gonna hold on to so much water retention, like what's gonna happen? And it's just about science based, knowing how to manipulate those macros so that they don't start their period and they'll start it a little bit later, and it's actually gonna probably come back a little bit heavier because right after show you're gonna be so low on food, like, and then you're having all your free meals, your refeed, all that stuff, and then it's just gonna hit you like a train.
Okay.
Okay. So I have one question. So I want to speak to the athlete side of you. And what does competing with yourself means to you?
Oh, I love competing with myself. I'm always trying to be better than the girl I was yesterday. So I'm literally competing with myself every day, especially the girl that I was 10 years ago, because I was overweight. I had no discipline, and I learned that you choose what you want to be disciplined in. And because I was in school, I was so focused on school, I wasn't focused on my health. But the minute that I got disciplined in like fitness, that's when I was like, oh, you can really build discipline in every aspect of your life. But I think so many people, they just build that discipline in their business and school life, what they want at the moment, not knowing that that discipline can be a whole rather than just one focus.
So, do you think a top tier physique on a woman and an ugly face can win a show? No, I'm just kidding. Oh, don't answer that. That was I was joking. I was joking.
I was like, no women are ugly.
No, I was joking.
We're all
I
beautiful
was
in our own
joking.
way.
All right. So, what's one belief about coaching that you do disagree with?
For like bodybuilding or just in general?
Yeah, in coaching bodybuilding coaching. So
But
we're just like, yeah, like what's one thing you disagree with? One belief you disagree with?
doing 2 hours of cardio on like 900 calories.
Okay.
All right. You have any pressing questions before I go to the last call out?
No, I
Final
think
call out?
no, I think that was it, man. She dropped a lot of knowledge on us. Well, on me anyway, about female competing. So I'm good. What you got?
It,
Last call out.
Okay, so it's final call out. Don't mess up my segment.
My bad.
So we just started this segment last week. I sprung it out of nowhere. So it's final call out. It's a debatable topic where I just want to hear everyone's opinion on a specific topic. So it could be controversial, could not be controversial. We're just going to give our opinion. Remember, we always like to say it's our opinion. So hey, drop your opinions in the comments. So since we are speaking to a woman coach who coaches women, I think something that's heavily based in female competitors is structure. So, do you think that conditioning is overemphasized or picked more over structure in the lady categories?
oh,
Or should
are
it
we talking
be
about OCB or NPC?
in general? Just in
In
general.
general, it's a little hard in general because OCB obviously has different judging criteria
Mhm.
versus NPC having different judging criteria as well too. A lot of people when they go into the NPC, they think that you have to be very well conditioned, very well like coming in really hard to step on stage in the NPC, but I feel like that's more OCB, especially if you want that pro card, where NPC, you have to understand that as a wellness competitor, you want to come in full. You don't want to be too conditioned. Same thing with bikini. Like if you're too conditioned, just like I'm not sure if you guys watched the Arno where Ashley Kaltwalter, she was actually too conditioned in her glutes, and that's what got her the fourth placing versus Amy Delgado, where she was completely filled out. Her muscles look really good. She wasn't holding any to water retention. So that's the difference with NPC and OCB. I feel like OCB is all about that structure and conditioning, but they will always pick conditioning over the structure.
Oh man, so it's my turn to answer that.
Yeah.
I think it's all on where you compete at, to be honest with you. As she said, every organization got what the one thing that separates them from everybody else. And as you know, in OCB, it's supposed to be, symmetry and then muscularity and then conditioning. If you go somewhere else, they're looking for conditioning be that number one thing. And your shape and symmetry doesn't even matter. So I think it all depends on where you go. And that's the hard thing about us in this natural bodybuilding, because we can literally compete in OCB. We know the standard. But then we go to WNBF, them guys are going to be shredded to the gills over there. So now we got to shift our focus to try to get shredded like them. So I think it all depends on where you want to compete.
Gotcha. And
But
I guess
conditioning is still part of bodybuilding.
It is,
Let's
yes.
just make
This is
that
the
clear.
big part.
all right. So I think my opinion is very on par with you guys. Of it depends on where you go, right? But then I think almost like I guess for me, it's almost like I will always choose somebody, like even when I'm coaching a client, if I got a client with great structure, it's like, okay, we can go just about anywhere because structure will always be recognized if it has conditioning. But if someone has conditioning and no structure, most likely they'll be overlooked. So especially I'm thinking in the female categories like figure, like if someone has an amazing structure and they come in condition, then they're going to almost be undeniable, right? But then I think once it comes down to like bikini and wellness, especially in the natural organizations, because of course it's a little bit more newer. I think they're still trying to figure out that fully. I think the shape matters most in those specific categories, especially when it comes to wellness, because of course the bottom heaviness of the structure for wellness and then the balance look for bikini. No matter how conditioned they come in, their structure is going to place them in a specific space. I don't think, especially in the NPC, the stuff that I've seen, even on the IFBB level, you're never going to mistake a bikini girl and a wellness girl. It's two
No.
different looks over there. So I think the lines are a little bit blurred still, even in the natural organizations, and a lot of them. I think they're doing a good job at trying to weed it out and put people in the right places. But I think structure is king for me. It's always going to be king. Like even when I coach a female client, it's like as soon as we start cutting, then that's kind of when we pick the specific division. Because if you pick it too early, you may diet a wellness girl right on into bikini sometimes. So I think that's why I said like I'm real heavy on structure, even in the men's category. Like if you don't got legs, hey, let's go ahead and do this men's physique. You're gonna diet your legs right on out of classic physique. So I think
Yeah.
structure is always king for me because I think conditioning we can control. You can't really control structure that much or in that short period of a time. Yeah. Any
Right
more
on.
That was good. Yeah.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah, I
Right
get to
on.
think about these. I'm
Highly
sorry, I
agree
just be
with
throwing them
that.
at y'all. So, Jamie, can you tell them where to find you? Instagrams? Is there a special link that they need to hit to find your coaching? What's going on? How they find you?
So actually, currently, I'm not taking on any athletes this year.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have I'm keeping the athletes that I currently already have. I am taking on more lifestyle this year, just because one, I want to give my full focus to the clients that I currently have, and I don't want to fill up my plate too much where it's overwhelming for me to the point where I'm like, I can't really coach everybody. So I am maxed out, but they can find me on Instagram at it's Jamie. And the best tip I can give you guys coaching female competitors is learn about a female's hormones and their bodies, and it's gonna put you guys ahead of the game versus somebody who's gonna be like, oh, you're just on your period, they're just emotion, you're good.
I'm gonna take a psychology class too, so that's gonna help out with everything. Hey, but this was a great episode. We really want to thank you for dropping gems and not only educating us on a couple of things, but also educating our audience. It's always wonderful when we're able to bring a lady on that's very knowledgeable about her craft. Also, we got to drop a tidbit. If you guys haven't shopped, we do have a Jamie on. So Jamie, you can also head over to Chula Wear as well. Grab yourself a bodysuit. You can use the
I didn't
code
even know
Carolina
that.
Mountain or
Send
Eashell
me the
10.
link.
But if you guys do not have shorts, trunks, robes, socks, whatever you need for your next show, get it at Chula Wear. Use those codes, get the family discount. This was a great episode. We want to thank you again. But until next week, y'all, peace.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Thank you.